if you can do that in a compelling enough way, you will find that not only do your objections start to decrease substantially, you can charge way more. You stop being in competition with anybody else because most other people are not going to be able to understand and illuminate that for the person as well as you can. But also, you can build your community, you can craft your content all around that transformation.
This is the Online Trainer Show, Trainer Show, Trainer Show. This is the Online Trainer Show. We shouldn't have a podcast.
So for those of you out there who are listening to the podcast and obviously day drinking at the moment, you may find out. We hope that you find out that our audio quality is a little bit better today. We're trying something exciting and new, which is a part of the Love Boat theme song. Obviously, we're trying something exciting and new at the behest of Jonathan Goodman, the Jonathan Goodman. He was on a podcast and he basically said, well, I was on a podcast and it just dropped this week and it sounded better than ours. So let's use that thing that they were using.
Well,
so
no, that's not actually what happened. It was done in person. No, it was done in person. I was on a podcast with somebody who shares an office space with us here. He had me on his podcast. And so it was in person. And
what was it?
When I listened back to it, I was just like, man, this thing is a better listening experience the entire way through. So you know us. I mean, we're always just trying to improve. I mean, part of the process that we're trying to communicate here is trying to show you kind of how we're getting better and how we're learning and trying to show by doing instead of saying that it's okay to try things. And that's we are, instead of using Zoom, I mean, the issue with Zoom is it records everything together. What we're using a platform now called Zencastr. And what Zencastr does is it records everybody's mics individually, and then it patches them all together. Versus Zoom, where it tries to record everything as one. And you might have noticed one of the really important things for this podcast is Carolina's cackle.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And the problem is when Carolina cackled before, it was so sharp and so loud that it basically either muted her or it muted everybody else because they needed to offset it.
I was overpowering y'all.
Yeah.
She was. I mean, truthfully, she was. And I think that the cackle is a very important piece of the podcast. But before we start, I wanted to give a shout out to Aaron. Aaron let us know that our podcast that went live this morning was screwed up. Basically, our production team neglected to include my audio for the first about 17 minutes of the podcast.
What?
Yeah.
So what they put live was the entire podcast without my audio for like 17 minutes, and it was just blank. And by the time that I woke up, I had a message from Aaron saying, hey, not sure if it's just me, but wanted you to notice this. And I want to give a shout out to Aaron because Aaron, you waited this is my dream come true. Somebody is looking forward to the podcast dropping and listening to it before I wake up first thing in the morning when that podcast drops.
Aww.
This is a big deal, everybody. I think that we have reached a new level of success.
We have, not only that, but the fact that they were disappointed by the lack of your voice on the podcast, which is something that the three of us have already agreed was the best part of today's episode. It shows just a loyalty to Jonathan Goodman that we simply don't share here as his colleagues.
To be fair, she didn't ever say that she was disappointed that I wasn't speaking.
Oh,
she mainly pointed it out.
Okay. All right. So
very different things.
That makes a lot more sense. Now, thank you for clearing that up, Jonathan.
She never once allowed us to how it was a worse or lesser experience for her in any shape or form. She just recognized that it was probably a mistake. And by her tone with the message, it seemed like she was kind of hoping it would stay that way.
Right. I was wondering why I enjoyed the first 17 minutes of the podcast so much today. Then it dawned on me. Jonathan's not talking at all. And let me give him some information. So I didn't know that when I got on the podcast today. I was chatting lightly with Catalina and Amber as I often do. They said, "Oh yeah, this podcast with Jonathan was muted," and I thought it was a different podcast where you got muted for a minute. I remember there was some podcast where your sound went out, and I made some joke about it. Oh, Jonathan's muted, and now I can talk. I thought it was that podcast. I didn't realize that it was a technical error that totally and completely cut you out of the first 17 minutes of the podcast. I can't imagine how that sounds actually. It's
17
like the
glorious,
Jackson 5 with no
glorious
Michael.
minutes.
Kettle liked it. Kettle liked it. So Jonathan, we probably got a topic today. I don't know what it is. And for the people out there listening too, we can't see each other anymore. So we don't have the visual communication that we used to have on the podcast. All of the visual things that we would tell you about that you couldn't see because you were listening to us. There's probably going to be less of that now that we can't see each other either. But so I don't know how everybody looks today. It's great for me. I have on the same shirt that I had on the last podcast. I'm not sure that I washed in between, actually. But we've got a subject today that we don't know what it is. We'll get to that in a second. Jonathan will introduce it. We'll put that stress on him. He deserves it. He had the last podcast off for 17 minutes. He should be fueled up. But Keto, what's going on with you? We gotta defer to our in the field correspondent, Catalina Belmata. Is anything going on of significance to you right now, Keto? You doing well?
Well, if this speaks to the quality of, the stress in my life and my mental health as of, late, I cried over missing the garbage truck today. That happened. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
deep level hurt.
Yeah. It's like, Carol, are you stressed? Well, I cried over missing the garbage truck. So I don't know what that tells us. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got to tell you on the scale of things that I get terribly upset about. Garbage truck is not particularly high, but I get it. I completely understand. And this is a good point you make because sometimes it's just that one little thing, right?
Yeah.
Like out of all the things, it's a cumulative effect.
Yep.
And I've had situations I know where I've just been set off by the least little thing. I'm making my grits in the morning. Live in the South. Do you guys have grits in Canada? Do they?
I had grits once. I was in Texas and I had
You were in
grits. Remember I
Texas?
told you the story about how I went to Texas for some girl?
When you drove through Albuquerque because you like the name of the city?
What's the fried steak or something that they have out there too?
Probably just fried steak.
It was like fried steak and grits. I had like a real Texas meal. I think
it wasn't like country ham, was it?
No. It was beef, but it was like deep fried steak.
Yeah, like
I was like, y'all know how to live out here.
Yeah, fried it too much. Yeah.
Y'all and your big gulps. You know what's the most messed up thing about the United States?
What? First of all, okay, I'll indulge it. I was about to cut it off, but I'll indulge it. Let us know the worst thing is.
So I'll be in a fast food joint or something in the States, and I'll be like, let me get a small soda.
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
This cup is 30 gallons. 30 gallons, 30 ounces. This cup is 30 ounces. That's like the small or medium that you get at like a Subway restaurant or McDonald's or whatever it is in the States is legitimately bigger than the extra large we get here in Canada.
If I may quote the late great Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, we don't do that here. You're not going to get a small cup of anything in the United States. That's not how we roll.
And then you go back for refills.
Absolutely. You have to. We go back for refills to wash it all down. We got
my favorite is sweet tea in the South.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
Let me get some sweet
knows
tea.
all about that. Yeah.
It's like the only thing worse than Carolina's purple drink in terms of like health for you.
Sweet tea.
Sweet tea in the South.
Which, by the way,
it's a big deal.
You can't see me, so you can't know if I'm drinking my purple drink or not.
I feel like this is going to improve our relationship. Have we picked a topic yet today?
No, that's all, that you're supposed to be thinking about the topic as I'm rambling.
You know what it is? Amber sends me a list of potential topics. Okay,
A
Amber
long
sent
list.
me the list of potential topics today at 12:20 p.m. We record the podcast at 1:15, and I work out from 12 to 1. So
To
I
be
don't
fair,
I
I just
don't
said-
know when I'm supposed to pick the topic of the podcast, but like I don't have much time.
Well, we
Maybe a
didn't
little bit
have a
more
lot of time.
notice.
Would you say, Amber?
I said, I recall during a meeting that you said you didn't want a lot of notice because you didn't want to have to think about it too much. So,
Oh, that's right. I was there. I was awake during that meeting. You did say that. That was the one meeting I was awake. So we'll get to a topic in a second.
Maybe like the beginning of the day, Tuesday and Thursday, is like enough.
Probably
I think I do know what topic though. I'm looking at your list now, Amber. That's like way too long. Like cut this down. It's too much to look at. Yeah. You wrote types, offerings, packages, and when to use them. Bracket month to month, comma, program that's 12 weeks, comma, etc. I think we'll do that.
That sounds
blacked
very
out while you were
legit.
saying that. So I don't know what you. I have no idea what you just said.
I think what we'll talk about today is like the difference between offering like a month to month. Like, okay, you're going to pay me like whatever, $100, $200 a month versus some sort of a program that's like 12 weeks long. Basically, like what options are there for you in terms of what packages to sell and what are the pros and cons of each and what do you need to know about them? I think we can talk about that.
That sounds reasonable. That sounds like a thing that would be on the Online Trainer Show podcast. I'm all for it, Jonathan. I'm 100% behind you. Amber, thanks so much for finding this format. I can already tell that the sound's better right away. So we've got a topic. We're on the Zencaster, which sounds like the thing that isn't that the thing that they use to clean off the hockey rink? The Zencaster, is that what that is? I don't watch hockey, so I don't know. So you guys out there in the third period, the Zencaster comes out and sweeps the hockey. Was it the hockey court, hockey field, the hockey rink? The hockey place. I always wanted to ride one of those Zencasters. So in the South, it's like 100 degrees still, in high 70s, 80s. There's green trees all around here still. I'm seeing all these posts on the internet from my friends farther north. They got all these beautiful colors. It's not happening down here. Like it's still hot here. And yet people are consuming pumpkin products by the tons here, like pumpkin pies and pumpkin donuts and latte things, the Starbucks pumpkin stuff. And I don't like it. Like, are you guys fans? Like, are you guys all for the pumpkin stuff? Like the whole fall thing? I prefer the summer. So for me in the grocery store, when the sweet melons turn into pumpkins in the grocery store, like I get angry. That's when I cry, Carol. Not at the garbage man. I cry when the pumpkins replace the watermelons. I shed a tear. Like, what's your opinion? Like, Carol, are you and I know you're from a southern climate, Kettle, originally.
Yeah.
Are you here for the fall stuff? Does it work for you? You feel good about this?
No, because it's super cold and soggy here in Canada, and I'm not for that. I'm a summer child just like you, and I just tried my very first pumpkin spice latte ever last week, ever, and it was mediocre at best. I don't know. I wasn't a fan.
Not very good.
Yeah, no. I was not a fan. I'll stick to my purple drink because that's a summery drink. So I'll stick to my purple drink. Thank you very much. And
pumpkin spice lattes are like $7 too.
Yes,
right.
But with all the
so
with all the money that I get from the podcast, I mean, it's fine, right?
That's how you supply yourself with straws.
Yes, that's what that's what I'm here for.
That's good, actually. No, it's good. It's good that you are satisfied with how much and you can afford everything you need to for yourself and your family. Because we were actually considering giving you a raise, but now that you said that, I think we're not. I think we're just going to keep it as is. Works out really well.
The rest of the budget went to a free trial of Zencaster. So we're tapped out now. We're financially tapped on the online trainer show now. Too bad. You had a chance before we went to a new free platform that we're using on a trial basis, Keto. Deal with it. So, Jonathan, we've got programs and processes. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly what you said.
It was a
I
lot
know
of
you said
words.
some things. Yeah,
Yeah, it was a
I'll
lot of
chime in
words.
as you get into it. But take us into the fray here, Jonathan. Like, let us know what we need to learn, what we need to know about these how these programs are offered monthly. 12 months. This is a good topic too. I had this conversation with an OTA student just today.
Okay. Talk to me about the conversation you had with the student.
Well, the student was asking about enrollment periods. And here's something that's really interesting to me. I'll talk to OTA students, and for you OTA students out there listening, or coaches in general, I'll talk to OTA students and they'll say things to me like, I'm just having a problem. How can I get more clients? And I'll say, oh, well, that's a great question. Tell me a little bit about your enrollment process. What did you do? Well, I did Founding Client Challenge. Oh, that's great. That's great. How long ago was that? Oh, that was in February. And I'm like, so have you not asked anyone to enroll since February? No. Okay, well, I'm going to knock your socks off today, buddy. How about asking? Let's start there. Like, so there's something going on where we're getting the erroneous sort of information that once you ask people to enroll, you have to wait till things sort of die down before you got to wait till you go broke before you can ask more people to enroll again. I don't get that. Well, sort of wait until all the money runs out and people forget about me so I can ask about more enrollment. So my comment to this coach was, yeah, you own your business, right? Like, you realize that, like, you're in charge of your own business. You get to say when the shop's open, for how long, how frequently, when you're selling, when you're not. I said, you probably want to do it more frequently than once every 8 or 9 months. So let's
You
start.
probably want to ask for business more than once every 8 or 9 months.
Right. But you know what it was, Jonathan? Is what do they call it? Spotlight effect. People sort of feeling like the entire world's paying very, very close attention to everything that they do. What if people
Right. I
see
didn't know
that
there was
I'm
a name for
enrolling
that.
again? I'm like, what do you care if people see that you're enrolling again? I've enrolled on every 2-week basis before, because the first time I tried it, I didn't get any clients. So I just went back and did it again. So I'm interested in this subject to put it out into the community so people can hear sort of from the horse's mouth, from the Jonathan Goodman, that, hey, it's okay to ask more than once a year. So okay to ask more than once a year for people to enroll.
It should be part of your planning. It should be part of how you plan your content each
Yes.
month, and even your weekly like flow of content.
Absolutely.
So okay, every single month, week 1 I'm going to do like value add,
Yes.
right? Week 2 I'm going to do week 2 I'm going to do like community type posts, engagement type posts. Week 3 I'm going to do success story transformation posts featuring my past clients. And then week 4 I'm going to ask.
Yes.
Right. And every time you're kind of obviously open to new clients, but this way, going into the week, you know exactly what you're posting, right? You think of a good content post and you're in that promotion, you're like, cool, I'm gonna save this because I got one of these weeks coming up. Like, that should be planned and you just flow through it. And it makes it way easier too, because then you can also start to reuse stuff.
Yes.
Like, again, with the spotlight effect. Oh, but I posted this this piece of content 3 months ago. It's like, ain't nobody gonna notice that you posted that 3 months ago, man.
Right.
They won't know if you did it yesterday.
They won't know if you did it
Trust me.
yesterday. Nobody's gonna know, but you will know. And so, but that's a very I like the title. I like the name that you gave to that. I've never heard that before because we certainly pay way more attention to what we do than anybody else.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely
And-
true.
Yeah, and I think we all kind of get that, right? And so it's very important to look past that a lot. I mean, we
I
at the
think we lost Jonathan
PTDC
Wren.
literally utilize software that
he's back.
repurposes content.
You dipped out for a second, Jonathan. So when you said we all consider that we're more important than what we are, you dipped out and we didn't hear anything else, and we thought that we scored another win here on the podcast. Like, I can't see everybody because we're not on Zoom, but I could feel the excitement charging through Amber and Catalina and myself. You're like, hey, it's the first time on Zencaster and we won early. Like, rarely does a slot machine pay off on the first pull. And I think we all
Erin,
had
who's
that
listening
excitement.
long, and Erin, who's listening long, first thing in the morning because she woke up eagerly awaiting the new episode,
Oh gosh.
and she's just like, "Yes, it happened again."
Expect another message when this episode lands from Erin.
Yeah.
She's like, you cut out for 26.3 seconds. I'm not sure if you're aware. I just wanted to let you know, Jonathan. Thanks, Erin.
Meditative for her. I think that that's a very good point. And so let's talk about. I mean, what you were saying about oh, I can't get clients. That's a very interesting question because like I get it sometimes too. You know, on Instagram, for example, I was just chatting with somebody earlier today who's an OTA student, and I just leave it open. I'm like, yeah, you know, feel free to send me a message on Instagram or whatever. So he sent me a message. She's like, hey, I'm struggling to get clients. What do you recommend that I do? And it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, I literally have no idea what to say other than this is why we have business coaches as part of Online Trainer Academy.
Right.
Because people like Glenn, who are amazing, and Amber, who are amazing, and the rest of our team of coaches will listen to you and figure out where the breakdown is. I mean, is the breakdown that you haven't asked anybody to train with you for 8 months?
Right.
It might be as simple as that. Like you literally have not asked anybody to buy from you. That is effectively having a store with no sign on front, with the door locked, with the blinds drawn. You know, like, and then getting upset that nobody's buying a sandwich
Right.
Yeah.
and your food's going bad.
Exactly what it is.
And so it could be as simple as that. It could be how you're positioned, but it could also be, I mean, your package structure, which I guess we're talking about today. A lot of people, when they first start training, and this is actually what we teach people at the beginning because it's much easier to get started, is to basically charge like a monthly fee. Like this is my monthly fee for coaching. It's X amount of dollars per month. If you join the Online Trainer Academy, we have calculated, we have a whole process to help you figure out exactly what that price is and what you offer. So cool. So now you know what you're offering and you're selling this. Well, that's cool. I mean, that's a great way to get some initial clients of people who are kind of listening to you. But when you get a little bit more experienced, especially online, you kind of have to transition if you really want to grow, both in charging more, but also in getting clients who are like outside of your immediate bubble.
Mm-hmm.
You have to sell the transformation. I mean, you never sell the product. You never sell what you're selling. You sell what the person will become as a result of your product.
Right.
And so what is that? What is your person going to become once they've gone through your coaching? That's what you sell. And then you charge a price for that transformation. How long is that transformation going to take? Maybe it's going to be 8 weeks, maybe 12, maybe 16. I mean, you know better than I do. Mm-hmm. Once you really know your person. What's involved in getting somebody to that transformation? Well, like every client, it's kind of going to be different, which is why it becomes very, very difficult to say, okay, you get a new workout every 2 weeks, and then you get this nutrition, and then you get this accountability and whatever, because you actually don't know what every client needs until they're really deep in the weeds with you. And so what you do is you sell them a price to become the person they want to become. And then you provide them whatever they need. If you can do that in a compelling enough way, you will find that not only do your objections start to decrease substantially, you can charge way more. You stop being in competition with anybody else because most other people are not going to be able to understand and illuminate that for the person as well as you can. But also, you can build your community, you can craft your content all around that transformation. And it kind of all falls from that. That's the idea of vision. And so this takes some time to learn, to get to know. But a lot of the time when you say, I can't get clients, I had a little bit of success and now I can't get clients, it's like, it's probably because you're not saying anything interesting right now. And that's not anything, a knock against you. That's not saying that you don't have the ability to. That's that you're kind of saying the same thing as everybody else. You're kind of putting out the same content. It's kind of stale. You're not talking to anybody specifically. So even if you're talking, nobody's listening.
Right.
That's the key with understanding the differences and I guess the evolution of what online training is. This podcast is made possible by viewers like you, except you're not viewers, you're listeners. Okay, well, I guess a word from our sponsors. If you're a fitness nutrition coach that's looking to master online coaching so that you can help more people, make more money, and have more freedom, then the Online Trainer Academy can help. OTA gives you the framework, knowledge, and support to have predictable success with your online coaching business. From marketing to business development to how to assess and motivate your clients online, it is constantly updated and refreshed to keep up with a dynamic market. Not only that, OTA is proven. In 7 years, we've helped over 30,000 coaches in 87 countries go online. Truth is, we know what works, so you can get right to the success part. And in case you're busy working a full-time job or you're a full-time parent, know that you can go at your own pace. There's no deadlines to complete OTA and you have lifetime access. That said, if you are ready to make a rapid change and finish the course in the next 8 to 12 weeks, you can expect to invest 3 to 5 hours each week on the program. And here's the best part. If you join today, you will make an extra $1,000 a month in 90 days, or I'll give you your money back. So if you're ready to build the fitness business you want and make the money you deserve, go to onlinetrainer.com/academy to enroll today. And I hope to see you in there. Are you still trying to pick your online training software? If so, let me make this easy for you. Go with PT Distinction. It's truly the best, and I'm not just saying that because they're our sponsor. We actually use PT Distinction for our own online fitness business, Online Trainer Coaching, and we're really happy with it. From onboarding to programming to client communication, PT Distinction has everything you need to run your online fitness business smoothly, and it's super simple to use. Now, normally they offer a free 30-day trial, but as a listener of the Online Trainer Show, you get a free 60-day trial, so you can make sure you love them before spending a dime. If you want to deliver first-class service to your clients while reclaiming your time, then visit onlinetrainer.com/PTD to sign up for your free 60-day trial today.
That's such a true statement. The analogy that I usually use with the coaches, in terms of, because and I want to defer to Kettle here because she's probably here and awake. I can't see her, so I have no, I'm a little frightened by the fact that I'd have no idea what Kettle's doing as we're talking. Like this really raising my anxiety levels. I didn't expect this to be a thing, but I really am. Like, I don't know what she's doing, so I'm frightened to call on her at certain points. But for Kettle, when you first started, did you have a problem with the whole USP thing, like niching down? And I promise I've got a point here, Jonathan, and I'll defer back to you quickly. But did you find that was a challenge initially for you figuring out who you're going to work with, or was it really intuitive for you?
Oh no, I totally had a challenge because you want to serve everyone and you want everybody can be your client. Everybody you can work with anyone, and that just doesn't work.
It just doesn't work. And Jonathan, so here's the analogy that I use with the coaches to get them to see this point. I asked them what their favorite food is. A lot of times people say sushi, which is a great example. And I tell them, if I come into your city to get sushi, there's probably a place that you're probably going to take me, right? And they're really good at sushi. They specialize in it. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Can you think of the place? I get them to name it. And then I say, what about the place that sells like steak and also tacos and pizza? And you can get sushi. They got a little sushi bar there too. Would you take me there? And they're like, no, absolutely right. Absolutely not. I wouldn't. I wouldn't take you there for sushi. They don't. They
Right.
don't specialize in sushi. I'm like, well,
Mm,
what about the sushi place? What about them cutting out all those people who want steak? And then I can see the light go on in the coach's eyes as I say that, because doing everything's not an asset. Like people
exactly.
don't go out
Doing
for a
everything.
special night to a family fare restaurant that sells everything. The
Exactly.
kid gets a burger, mom gets pizza, dad gets some tacos, and the daughter gets sushi. Like, that's not higher in your list. Also, the entrees aren't very expensive right there, and the tips are horrible. Like, you don't want to be that restaurant, you know.
Man, I
Mm-hmm.
want you to come to Toronto, and for a lot of reasons. Because the first time that you came to Toronto, we became best friends
We
within
did.
like
We
3 months.
basically became
For
best
those of
friends.
you who don't know the story, I put on a conference called the Strong Summit in association with the Toronto Pro Show, which is the biggest bodybuilding show in Toronto at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. We did it for 2 years. And the second year that we did it, I decided that I was going to double up and rent a film studio around the corner and do a full day of OTA video testimonials. So we hired a film crew. We even got a makeup artist. And we had runners meeting people at the hotel. We sent Ubers for people, and we got it catered. It was a really fun day. And then we had like a big party where we invited all OTA students afterwards to the studio and had like 60 of them in there, and like had a party with beer and with food and confetti and stuff like that. And so anyway, Len was in town for the event, and I asked him to come in. I didn't know Len, but I asked him to come in to see if he'd be willing to shoot a testimonial video for us, and he was. And he came in, and I'm sitting upstairs in the film studio, and he walks in. I don't remember. Do you remember who went and picked you up? Was it Stephanie? Who was the?
No,
We had like 3 or
I
4
rented a
runners.
car. I was totally self sufficient. I rented
Oh,
a
you
car.
were
I drove in.
Oh, so you were just about the only one. So we sent people to pick up most people.
Yeah, I'm the only one getting picked up,
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's too bad.
which makes
But
sense.
But Len's upstairs, and all I remember, because we have a picture of this event, we have a picture of this happening, of me and you standing beside each other. And I don't think I've ever said this before or after, but I think within 5 minutes I looked at you and I was just like, I really want to be friends with you.
Oh, nice.
We do have a picture though. We do have a
We
picture.
do have a picture of it. We were sitting down, and I had to go, and I was so sad because I can't remember a single person where I laughed that hard, that quickly, that consistently.
Yeah, I came in hot that day.
Yeah, you did. You did. It was super funny. Um, I don't remember at all why I'm bringing this up.
I don't either. I think it had something to do with the sushi and the example.
Right,
Yes,
right.
yes,
So
the
I want
sushi
you. So I was telling the
restaurant.
story of you came in
Yeah.
of the sushi restaurant, and when to play devil's advocate to your point. Next time you come to Toronto, I'm going to take you out with Allison's family. So for those who don't know, like Allison's Hong Kong Chinese, like born in Canada, but her family's Hong Kong Chinese. And we're going to go out for dim sum.
Mm.
Now, when I say we're going out for dim sum, I'm like, when we walk into the dim sum restaurant, the menus are not in English.
Right.
You walk in, and there's a head nod that the white guy who's the boyfriend of or the white girl who's the boyfriend of the husband or wife or whatever it is of the Asian person in the restaurant, like we give each other a head nod because
Right.
there's like 2 of us in the restaurant at any one time.
Like, I see you, you see
Right?
me.
It's like a
Yeah.
real thing. It's like when you're traveling around Thailand and you're with an Asian girl, like you give a dude a head nod. You're like, yo, I see you. Right? Like it's like a real thing. And right, it's a real thing. But the reason that I bring this up is every single person, no joke, at a dim sum restaurant, like a legit dim sum restaurant, has at least 30 plates of 30 different foods.
Right.
I mean, it is like nothing you've ever done. How hard these people work at these restaurants.
Right.
I hate to be the dishwasher.
Amazing.
I mean, we'll go for dinner with like 10 or 15 people, and there will be hundreds of plates.
Crazy.
And so that's just me arguing your point of like family dinners, like everything, like every single kind of meat, like every single kind of soup. I mean, everything.
Right.
There.
So, and that's why I brought up that point, man. Like, you're so concerned about not cutting other people out that you're treading water you're treading in lukewarm water, right? It's neither cold nor hot. I want the water to be cold or hot. I want it to be too hot for some people, and and like I'm not mixing marine wildlife, right? Like I know polar bears like the icy cold waters, right? You know what I mean? Like, but I know there's some forms of tropical fish they like the warm waters of the tropics. Like I don't want in lukewarm water neither the polar bear nor the clownfish can survive, right? Like stop being so medium. Because to Jonathan's point, that's what makes your content a lot less interesting. You end up enrolling nobody because nobody can resonate with anything that you're saying. Like it just doesn't pay to be general online. It just doesn't. You're killing Nemo and you're killing the Coca-Cola polar bears at the same time. You're
I have
single-handedly
no
wiping
idea
out
what
wildlife.
that analogy means. None.
Yeah,
Zero.
yeah,
That analogy was so far over my head. You're killing Nemo and you're killing the polar bears.
yeah.
At the
Nemo's
same
a
time.
clownfish, tropical water.
Yeah, no, I know. Finding Nemo is a great movie, but I don't understand what you mean by that. So I'm just going to dwell on it.
They exist in two totally different climates. If the climate's not right for the polar bear, you're going to kill it. If the climate's not right for the fish, you got to pick one. You got to pick one. Like they can't
Got it.
exist in the middle. You
Love
So
it.
know,
all you're saying is that if you have a really warm animal and a really cold animal, you can't put them both in lukewarm
no,
water.
you got to choose something. You got
Okay.
to choose
Okay.
something.
Okay. All right, I
Not one
buy
of my
it.
best analogies,
I
but
liked
I
it.
got
Yeah,
it.
not one of you. No, I mean you have a lot of very good analogies. Okay.
Ken don't
Okay.
like
So
that. That's all I care about.
I'm on
Perfect.
my own. That's
Love it.
fine.
That's all right. That's all right. You're doing well, Jonathan. So we've discovered now. We're at the point where we've discovered perhaps the easy answer is: are you asking people? In terms of whether you're going to do a monthly enrollment, whether you do a 12-week program, 90-day, whatever. So we're past that point. We realize that's not the issue. We've delved into the question of, well, what are you posting about? Maybe you're just not saying things that are interesting. That's why people aren't responding. You know, but take us into now your thoughts in terms of, let me see let me check the time. We got 150. You got 5 minutes. Take us now into your thoughts about the monthly versus the 60-day or 90-day program. Like what's the differentiation there for you, Jonathan? Or does it matter?
Well, I mean, the main differentiation is the hardest part of like a monthly coaching is you're never selling the result. You're never selling what the person is going to become. And so as a result, it becomes very hard to sell it and get somebody committed to it, even if you can sell.
Right.
That's kinda like the hardest part about it.
Mm-hmm.
You're really going to have a hard time. It's like Allison's a naturopathic doctor.
Right.
Their college. So in Canada, naturopathic medicine is board certified medicine. In a lot of places it's not, but in Canada it is. In order, like their college doesn't let them basically market in any way. You can't sell any kind of programs. You can't use testimonials. You can't make promises or anything. Literally all you can say is come in for an assessment and we'll create a treatment plan. Well, like, no shit. None of them can make the business work
Right.
Yeah.
because you're competing against government healthcare in Canada, right? Like it's basically like one doctor saying, "Hey, you need to pay me for this medicine," and another doctor being like, "Well, your taxes already pay for this medicine."
Right.
Oh.
And as a trainer, like it's not dissimilar. Obviously one isn't free and one is, but if you try to say, "Oh, I'm going to help you lose weight, sign up for my monthly coaching," you're going to have a hell of a time once you get beyond the initial people who really trust you. Instead, what type of person does your person want to become? How crystal clear can you paint that picture in that image?
Mm-hmm.
That is going to dictate your success. That's the difference.
That makes sense. So you sort of have to know who you're coaching. Doesn't everything that we discussed sort of circle back to that, like an understanding of how you're relating to the potential client, like because that's sort of what I advise in terms of coaching. And Catalina, feel free to chime in here, but like, do you really know anything, Kettle, before you get the clients? Like, is there any way to figure it out before you throw the humans in?
What do you mean? I'm not sure that I follow.
I mean, I'm sorry, I can't see you, so I didn't know you were asleep. Like before,
Carolina was
normally I
so clearly they're not paying attention to anything that we were saying.
normally I know when she's asleep.
Kind of
'cause, like,
reaction of
I
like,
mean,
you
I
asked a
said
very clear question with like with like with like an answer that somebody who is listening like could have prepared. And she
normally I
gave that answer like, oh, can you clarify your question? Because she was so clearly not paying any attention. No, I
listen.
pull that card all the time when
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like
yeah,
when
no,
I'm speaking off camera to people on the phone or whatever. All the time I play that card.
So what I
normally if it's
heard,
real Zoom, I can
what I heard
see her
as the
feet in the camera.
question, what I heard as the question was like, do you know anything before you get the client? I don't know what that means. Can you clarify that question?
It was the 5 minutes worth of complete verbiage up to that point. That was sort of giving you a clue. So here's what I was saying, Keto. And again, as always, my mother told me to be a gentleman, so I'm sorry for waking you up. But if you do, you know, like coaches sort of go overboard and trying to decide all these things, right? Am I going to do 30 days? Am I going to do 90 days? 12-week program, 6-week, whatever.
I
And as I asked
understand now.
Jonathan about that, he
Okay.
was saying, Jonathan was saying, well, it sort of depends on what's going on with the particular person. And my question was, in your experience, do you really know anything at all before you add a human to the equation? Or is it all just theory? Like, is it worth spending days and weeks and hours trying to figure out, going back and forth? I don't know if I'm going to do 30-day programs or 60 or 90 or like, do you know anything before you add the people? Really?
No. So I know like the bones of my operation is I know that I can help my clients with fitness and I know that I can help them with nutrition because I'm qualified in the both to coach the one and the other. That's all I know. How much, like, what is the extent of fitness that they need versus what is the extent of nutrition that they need, one more than the other, what techniques we're going to use, all of that you can't know because they're an individual. So you have to meet them first and get to understand their goals before you can make those calls.
That was actually a really good answer.
Very well. I think I take back everything I said.
Yeah, we can cut that out. Now that we're using Zencaster, we can probably cut out your original answer. We'll just stick this one right in. Yeah,
we don't even know if this recording is working. We have no idea what to do with this afterwards. I'm assuming that Amber looked into it a little bit, but like maybe not.
Like, I care if it works or not. That's Amber's problem. So I don't care about it at all. So we wrapped up another amazing episode of the Online Trainer Show. Here we've got to go, people. We want to stay longer. We want to, but we can't.
I'm ready to go, actually.
Yeah, well, I am too. But I was trying to be cordial for the group. So in terms of things, generally speaking, the amount of time that you're going to use to set up your program, how often you're going to enroll people, and pretty much everything across the board, it really depends on how you want to individually structure your business. You've heard one great thing that you can take away from this episode is that if you're going to do ongoing monthly, you're probably going to have a little bit more of a challenge selling your program because things just aren't, it's not very specific as to how you're going to sell the thing that the person is going to become, because it's so ongoing. So that's one great takeaway from the information that Jonathan gave us today. In terms of how long it's going to be exactly, OTA, we sort of recommend 60 days and no more than 90 days. However, you may have some secret magic sauce and something with your particular clients that differentiates. We try to guide you here, not tell you how things are going to work exactly. There's no information that you'll get from us that relaxes you from the the need to pay close attention to the humans that you're helping, right? So, like you can't say no, Mallory, I'm sorry. Jonathan told me you wanted to do it for 60 days. Like it doesn't work that way. We're providing guidelines, but you do have to pay attention and sort of keep your finger on the pulse of your clientele. Bang up show today. We're on Zencastr, so that's exciting. Show notes can be found at onlinetrainer.com/podcast. I can't wait to hear the audio on this thing. I hope it sounds amazing. Do we still get a jingle, Amber? There's still a jingle, right? Yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with Zencastr. There's still a jingle. Amber's probably asleep too. But we'll see you guys next time. All right.
Amber unmuted herself. She unmuted herself for a minute there. I could see on the Zencastr, we can see like the lines of people talking, like the sound waves. You can see a little blink. So she made a eep at one point.
Oh yeah, I see the little dot on her sound wave. That's amazing. And that's her. We need to frame that as her contribution to today's podcast.
I'm gonna screenshot it before it passes.
What's that blip on that white piece of paper? Oh, that's Amber's contribution to episode 46.
What did Amber say? Amber said, "Yep."
Yep. I think it was a hiccup. But we'll see you guys.
How do we end this thing? Do we just click off?
I'm just gonna.
Amber, do you know? Do we just leave?
Yeah, I just end. I'll hit stop recording, and everybody just exit out.
All right. Well.
All right.
I guess. Bye then.
Bye.
Bye.
This is the Online Trainer Show. Trainer Show. Trainer Show. This is the Online Trainer Show.
We shouldn't have a podcast.